Henry D. Green, Esquire, at your service.
You had just failed
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
a keep it together roll. But I wanted to mention briefly, Joel, where you are is kind of like the center of the world of the sense. It's like the center of commerce, fashion. I suppose some might argue Paris, perhaps, but you know, all of the fashion trade and the trade of diplomacy and thought also happens in New York, Manhattan, more specifically. That's the world that you know. And tonight you're going to find out a lot more about the world of Manhattan that you don't know. It is still the center, but kind of in a different way. Having failed your keep it together,
No.
you're going to lose 2 stability.
Oh, come on, me. All right.
And it don't matter. It will be pretty inconsequential, really.
Oh, on that side?
Yeah. In hindsight, you know, when I'm thinking about what I have planned, it's like, well,
That doesn't make me feel better.
because I'm going to kind of take over. There's a thing that happens, and then we're going to actually change situations because what had happened when you failed your keep it together is kind of a bit of a whirlwind, a bit of a blur. You were trying to decide, you know, the fight or flight sort of thing. You only had 2 doors to choose from. Neither one of those doors was a good choice. And the one that you had been through one way, you thought it's going to be the safe one to go through the other way. That's the one that started bowing in unnaturally, triggering the keep it together roll. And in the whole process of your losing that roll, if you could think of that as Joel in some sort of, you know, slowed down actual process rather than just the 7 coming up, but her looking at the door and seeing it bow, but then you hear sort of this weird wet breath sound that is way too large is the only way to describe it, and coming from the other side where the other door is. And as your head turns and looks towards the other door, you see that it's not really a door at all. It kind of looks like a door, but now it has the artificial look of the jam and the wood. The wood's natural, but the painting and, you know, painted, and just the doorway itself is lost, and now it sort of looks as if it has texture like flesh or skin, and it's not really a door. It's trying very hard to maintain that door shape, but with a mouth that large, it's difficult. And as something else is happening at the same time, because you also hear some explosions, and then you start to hear voices. They're muddled because you're in the process of going out, just so that you know. You're just kind of gathering, you get to gather this information. And it's not a door, it is the mouth of something much bigger. You realize this house is itself a creature. And you don't know where its digestive system might have gone should you gone through there, but you can see a wetness, and in the door, you can sort of see that there is not a hallway. It's an unnatural, or, you know, more a natural-looking sort of opening, like looking inside of an esophagus or.
Is there a dangly bit?
You punch it on the way in. The voices and the sound, and as you look back, that bowing effect that you thought you saw earlier actually it goes full force, and the door just kind of explodes open. That's the last physical thing you remember, is sort of covering your face as all of these bits and pieces. Oh, I forgot this detail too. The girl.
Oh, great.
It looked a lot kind of like you when you were 6, 7 years old. That's kind of why I gave her the blonde curly hair. She's more like the bait on the anglerfish that we discussed, except the connection is not a physical connection. It's more of a metaphysical connection, I guess is maybe the right word. And she gives out her own bit of a shriek that causes you to cover your ears more so than the explosion does. This ghastly, multi-leveled wail of the creature that can't scream through the door. It did sort of let off a breath, but the little girl screams and then is pulled backwards towards the mouth as the door explodes open. You see a man in a black suit with a black shirt and a black tie. He's completely black. You think he's a black man, as your world is kind of blurry, and there's another 2 people with him. All you can remember as you start to go out is one of them looks like a kid and one of them looks very, very big.
Oh.
And they're talking. You hear them barking orders, or one of them is barking orders. But there is conversation in haste, and then you go out. Blackness consumes you.
Oh, no. Whoa. Whoa. Ah! Oh, there I am. Hello.
And you're actually there.
Oh. Well, no fun.
I was moving you around. Yeah, you'll notice the 3 on the blue. Do you see the circles? I may have to...
I see a red radius.
Okay, here, let me do this. See, we'll do a live roll 20 adjustment.
We don't play with roll 20 that much. This is fun. Okay.
Do a refresh.
Do a refresh. Gotcha. Da, 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 da.
Now I can't even see. Oh, yeah, click on it. Click on your token.
Okay, hold on. My computer is much slower. We talked about this. I spent how long ranting and raving that my computer is crap. Okay. I see a box and a gray chica thing.
Okay. All right, so you see the levels, but you don't see the circles. Maybe that's just a GM only thing.
I don't see it looks like you've got a whole set of dots around and the little chica. I don't have that. When I click on token, I just have one little.
Oh, bummer. Okay, well, when that blue thing gets full, you're broken.
Oh.
It'll be 9, right? When as you add wounds, or actually I have to do this one manually because it doesn't work with that character sheet, but you get...
Oh. Wait, I see the bubbles now. I see the bubbles.
You get to go to 4 on the green one, and if you get 1 in the red, that's your critical wound. That means that's something you have to get taken care of, or you would die. So yeah, I've got all that, excuse me, hooked up on your token now.
I see
Isn't
it.
that cool?
I did it. It is great. And also thanks, Tim, for saying I needed to double click.
Oh, yeah, because you're on an Apple too, so I forget. It could be different for you. It could be different for you. Sometimes my Missouri.
It's a little different.
It's been
Happy
slipping
bubbles.
out lately.
Hi, Otter. I know.
Yeah, and that's what those bars will fill up as you take wounds and stuff. So yeah, you don't want you like empty bars. You don't want full bars.
No.
It's kind of the opposite of like video games where you don't want empty bars. You want to keep them full. This one you don't let the bars fill up.
Okay, got it.
But you wake up in bed, and there is a girl who wakes you up. Let's see. I haven't used Roll20 in so long. I forget how to do it.
We're working on it. Oh,
there we go.
That bitch is scary.
Well, she's not supposed to look scary because he's zoomed in. She does have scary eyes, and you can kind of see that she does have some teeth, sharp teeth, and you just catch a barely glimpse of her. As you wake up, she takes off out of the room and whips her hood up, and she had pointed ears.
Oh, pointy ears.
But she does have a hoodie, not a hood like that. That was from a fantasy thing. She's wearing like a Nike hoodie. You know what I mean? Like a
bitch running
hoodie.
out in like full robes.
Yeah, not like a cloak.
No, it's like a hoodie, like a zipper hoodie, like a boop, boop, boop.
But obviously is something that she doesn't want people to see. And since you were awake, she's like, oh shit, she's awake. Whoop, flips up the hood because she's no longer comfortable, and jets out of the room.
Why is she watching me sleep? Fucking weirdo.
And it's just a few moments. You can hear some talking off in probably where the table and chairs are there in that room. And then the guy in the black suit comes in, and he's a black man, but not in the sense of the black man like we would know in our common sense. His skin is jet black, ebony, through and through, and there's no gradient to it on the front or the back. There's no, difference of coloration in the fingernails. None of those subtleties that you would see on the skin of an African-American person.
So he looks like a shadow man.
Yes, but you can't see his face. His face is completely covered from beneath the collar of his suit. Black suit, black dress shirt, black tie. And then he is gauzed like the Invisible Man.
Oh.
Only that is also black. So he's like, yeah. But his voice, he's nice. As he comes in, when he says, you're awake, you can almost hear a smile somewhere in there, but you don't see the face move.
Oh.
However, it's not like a voice in your head. It's coming from that directional outward sound waves.
I just kind of rub my eyes and look around and kind of take in his appearance and mumble something about, did I fall asleep watching The Mummy again or something? But it's more to herself, not necessarily anybody else.
He does give you a little chuckle and says, I'm Temple. This is my friend Cinnamon, and you can see the girl who is really just barely 5 feet tall, maybe. She's probably more like 4'8", 4'7", kind of peeked out from behind him. Obviously, the small person that you saw. She's young, but she doesn't look like a kid, although you think she's probably that young. She's not human, right? And you notice that right away as well. And Temple she says hello, and she kind of smiles, and you can kind of hear her giggle, but you never hear her say a word. And then from behind them, who steps into the doorway, is another very large man, probably 6.5 feet tall, maybe 400 plus pounds. He takes up the entire doorway. He's wide, a very rotund, body shape.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's also wearing a black suit, but he's wearing a white shirt and a black tie. He is sort of like an island nation descent in coloration, and he has the tattooings all over his face like you would from those sort of tribal. I'm not going to start saying a whole bunch of stuff because I don't know anything about it, and I'm going to say something that I would regret.
That's okay. Joel just kind of like glances at everybody and then kind of looks back at Cinnamon and is like, "You like to watch people sleep."
Oh, she was guarding.
Guarding? Like the door?
No, you. Watching you, making sure that you were all right.
Appreciate it. Joel just like awkwardly looks around and you can just see that she's like trying to piece together what the hell's going on, but it's more of just like well, this is weird.
Your head probably hurts a little bit. Your ears ring. It is light outside. There are windows. Those look barred. They're not barred.
I'm in prison.
Yes. You'll learn about these maps if you keep following TTRP Theater, because they're part of the new books coming from Helmgast. And they're going to be on the new how-to videos. Part of the Screams. Oh, no, that's the other one. I did this the other day. I've only been looking at it all day long. Labyrinths and Secrets.
Ooh.
Yes, I like it. Very handy, actually. When you need a compound and it actually comes with a pool table.
Oh, dope. Gonna be hitting up that later. No.
Yeah. There's a version without the pool table, but I thought that was cool. I think this is like the biker hideout version or something.
Seems right up my alley.
Yeah.
Love
it is.
Pool table.
It is kind of that in a sense.
Okay.
Blue is the name of the big guy.
Big boy. Okay.
Yes. And they ask if you're hungry. You've been out for 24 hours.
Oh.
So you might be feeling hungry. I'm not sure what Joel's appetite is like.
Probably wants water, if anything. I'm just thirsty. You have water, please?
Yes, of course. And then Cinnamon's like gone and back just pretty quick. Obviously eager, baby. I don't know. Pretty quick. And, with a bottle of water. Room temperature.
No, that's fine. Don't care. Joel just unscrews it and just like sucks down the whole thing. She's like squeezing it at the same time. Kind of like one eye still on everybody, not quite sure what's going on around here. Hoping someone will fill in the blanks. I don't really want to ask a lot of questions yet.
They're just looking at you, waiting to see what your outward expression is like. What is your outward expression?
It's like one eyebrow raised, just kind of like taking in each appearance, almost like sizing them up for a fight. You know what I mean? Like, but with a calm face. But you can definitely see in the eyes that she's debating, if I had to fight these three people, who would I kind of go after first? Blue would probably be the one I'm eyeballing the most, trying to figure out how my size and his size would add up together.
She looks like she wants to fight.
Not necessarily fight, just weighing options, because I've just woke up here. I have no idea where I am. And now there's three people standing in a room staring at me and not explaining what the hell's going on.
Temple raises his hand. You didn't see him pull it from anywhere, but in it is your pistol. He says, "Here's your gun.
Mm-hmm.
You're safe here, obviously.
Can I have that back?
Yeah, he's handing it to you.
Oh, okay, great. So I just grab it, tuck it in the back of my jeans.
Yeah, it's his. He's showing you he trusts you by handing
It's
you
an
your
offer. Gun. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joel's so slow sometimes.
It's been a while since I've had you guys actually react with an NPC, so.
There's a little bit of head trauma here. Knocked out too many times. It's fine. Just take it, tuck it in the back of my jeans, and kind of nod a little bit. Does he offer anything else, or am I going to have to keep asking questions?
No, he says, he gives you that and says, you're safe here. You'll probably want to rest your head for a while. There's no real important things that you need to get back to, is there?
I mean, not necessarily, but where is here exactly?
Well, we just call it home. This is the mandate.
The mandate.
Well, we are the mandate. This is our place. It really kind of sounds silly when you make me answer it and describe it like this, but you're in a safe place. You saw some things that you might not be able to explain, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Got swallowed by a house. Anyone want to take a stab at that?
You should get more familiar with seeing those sorts of things.
Like what else?
This place where we are at is a very unique place, and it has doors. We have doors to different parts of Metropolis.
Metropolis. Uh-huh. Okay. Joel sits back because she knows Metropolis. She's heard it on the streets. But she never thought she'd actually just waltz her way in. Somehow magically it's here. You can tell she's a little surprised by that one.
You seem to be a fighter. We've had people who've had an eye on you for quite a while. Your parents were important.
Important for what?
Lots of things.
Like?
Things out of my wheelhouse. I never asked the like question. Maybe I should have. It wasn't really important for my mission.
And what was your mission?
Well, these days we protect other flag chatters, travelers, adventurers, people coming to and fro Metropolis, hunting artifacts, things, to help find some balance here in this prison.
What exactly is a flak chatter? It sounds like a poor pancake mix.
It's a loose term to describe a group of people who do that, who travel back and forth, who have reason to be here and there in Metropolis and in the world that actually has a name, but I don't want to overwhelm you with all of that stuff right now. Just know that there is the world that you see, and then there is the world that you don't see, but it is here. You have seen parts of it. You saw some of it when your parents were killed, if I am understanding the facts correctly.
Yeah.
The men with the painted faces?
Yep. Yeah. Why do you think, if you've been watching me, why do you think I've been doing everything I have been doing?
Oh, I know. Then the painted face is the real face. If you ever saw them with a face that looked like, well, yours, that would be the mask. Just so you know.
Yeah, thanks. So, why am I here? And why are you guys just good Samaritans? What's in it for you?
Let's say our webs have crossed, and we're going to start getting in each other's way at some point. So,
people don't get in my way, just so you know.
We were actually on our way to offer you a chance to work with us.
Doing what?
Well, various things. At the moment, we are sort of fighting some people. Well, I say people. I try to use words that you know. There may not always be exact. Anyway, we're at war. There's people coming to and fro. Well, let's just say that there are also folks who don't like that, who don't want us going over there, but they would like to come over here as freely and as often as they like to wreak all sorts of havoc and do terrible things for their own selfish purposes. And so we fight against that, so to speak. And there's a particular group in this moment in time who are quite troublesome, and so that is our current focus, but it changes from time to time. Sometimes we have to accompany people on their forays into that nightmarish world outside our door.
So, if you're fighting to keep them out, what else are you fighting for? To freely go where they go?
No, not necessarily, unless you have reason to, just like any other place in a person's life. I don't think it's right. We don't think it's right that things are hidden. It's more about the hiding that we're against, is so much what's being hidden or what it's being hidden from or who.
Okay.
It's the hiding that we don't like.
Okay. All right. Joel just kind of gets a little more comfortable where she's sitting. Her arms are definitely crossed across her chest. She's still slightly defensive, but she doesn't feel like this is a huge threat right now. She just kind of wants more of the actual story because she always feels like someone's hiding something from her.
Ask a question.
You gonna make me roll to ask you a question?
No. I mean, I can't really, I could give you a response to that, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't really know that. So he's not going to explain any further, really, because he's going to, it's going to start to sound like he's saying, all right, now come with us as we step into the halls of justice. And that where the super friends used to meet at. I'm trying to avoid it being too superhero-y.
Batman-y. Justice League-y. I don't know. I guess, like, Joel just kind of sizes Mummy Man up again. What was his name again? Temple, right. He's going to often be referred to as the Mummy Man. Just so everyone is aware. I guess she really just wants to know, like, is he really, like, the head guy in charge? Is he the grunt who got left behind to babysit? What is Temple's job?
You get the impression he's sort of perhaps the lieutenant of this platoon, squad, group.
He's like high enough, but not top tier.
Yeah. And you can hear other people off in the distance. It's not just these three that are on the premises. There are things going on. This is a place of activity.
Okay.
There's more than one, mission happening at a time. They may have all one singular focus, but it is it's a larger group than this particular.
So is there two
Trio.
doors like on the map? Is there two doors in this room?
Yep.
Are they blocking both doors, or could I go out one of these doors to forward or to the side?
They were coming through from the dining room, I'll say, with the table and chairs, more like a meeting room.
Okay.
The meeting room. It's like, what's that show? The biker show.
The biker show.
What was that show about the motorcycle bikers?
Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah. They had like a meeting room, and then there was like the room next to it. They had the pool table.
I never watched Sons of Anarchy. My brother did.
And then there was the losers room with the bed, or like when they got kicked out of their house because they were cheating on their wives, so they came over and slept in that room. I don't know. It's just remind the layout's similar. Anyhow. Yeah, so, they came from that room. The door to the vestibule is
sorry, it's a funny word.
is open. In fact, there's not even a door in it.
Cool.
They drug you in and put you on the first bed that they could get to, the easiest. Okay. It's clean. It's not like anything. It doesn't look dirty like this might imply.
Well, if we're having like these awkward like pauses and awkward silences where he's really not filling in where I'd hoped he would be, I'm just gonna kind of like stand up, shake my hair, like my fingers through my hair, and just like waltz my way out. Like, don't give a fuck. I'm just going where I want.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Are they gonna like trail after me in a posse like they're doing now?
No, he says, are you okay? Your legs feel all right?
Yeah. I don't know. Do they, Curtis? Do I have any residual goop in my hair or something? Saliva from the house eating me?
I'll let you sell the injuries. You can.
Kind of like a full body workout type soreness, if I had my guess. Like your head kind of hurts, like you're hungover at the same time. And you just kind of feel like
feel yucky. Yeah. We are going to have to get some dice rolling too, because that big blank space where the chat window is supposed to go is driving me nuts.
Okay, hold on. I got this.
My compulsions are.
I got it. I want to. Wait, is this the right one? Is it investigate? I want to investigate my surroundings out in the vestibule. It's an entryway, isn't it?
You'll get a couple questions. So.
Oh, look at that. See, I'm learning. I'm doing better at this shit. Oh, my dice.
And on the cards, I even put the extra text from the book in it too, so you can like read more about it. It doesn't really help on the fly so much, but you can read ahead. If we had other players here with you, you could be like in the off. And,
that'd be fun.
Learn a little bit more about the moves.
Okay.
And cool, the dice.
My dice.
Yay!
I've always used the virtual dice.
Everything's working tonight. 14 success with complications.
Okay.
You get one question.
I get one question.
But yeah, it will come at a cost.
Is there anything that's like odd or off about this place? And don't make it obvious, because obviously I'm in a weird place. I woke up here, I was being swallowed by a house. Don't you dare do that to me.
This is how your question is answered. You get up, and they are kind of just watching you, sort of like parents around a toddler who's learning to walk.
Great.
Minus the excitement. More like, oh, we weren't expecting this, right?
I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Watch me walk.
A badass, beautiful death machine. And so they follow you into the vestibule, the foyer, and you can see the room in front of you. And I have it blocked on my screen. Let me close that, which is a bathroom. And the door outside has a window. That door is closed, but it does have a window, kind of like one of those. To me, it's like an old-fashioned door. Although you can buy fancy doors that still have windows, but I always think of like from the 70s or 80s, when they had like the diamond-shaped window.
Oh,
kind of decorative.
so it's like what replaced the peephole.
Yes. Thank you.
Peephole.
You can see out that peephole of a window, and outside is what's strange. If your question was what's odd about this place, sort of in general, its locale, or at least what's outside this door, is strange, because when you look out, you see buildings and stuff. You do not see what's on the map, which is that other attached building aside. That is not actually what you see out that front door. It is what's there, but it's not what you see. What you see is the city of Metropolis, only just a part of it. You can definitely see that there is city out there, but there's something definitely off about it. Do you open the door to look? You can't. I mean, you can't get a whole good picture because you can't. It's just a small peephole of a window for all practical purposes.
People. No, I noticed them hovering kind of around me, and I just turn around and start walking into like the meeting room. I'm just gonna explore the house for a minute, see if I can't find something useful. Just so you know. So I go into the meeting room. Just turn around, boop, and out.
In that room, the walls are covered with maps, hand-drawn but very well done maps of all different parts of Metropolis, but they've all been done on different pieces of paper, but assembled to in complete one very large map that takes pretty much the entirety of the room, even bleeds up onto the ceiling and down onto the floor. And they've got them sort of not laminated, but what's that hodgepodge kind of, Mod Podge, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. They're all stuck there. It's permanent. But
they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, but it's hand done, and you can tell that it's various pieces of paper and stuff that have made this up. And what you can gather then is that this map of Metropolis appears to be in sort of a circular pattern that radiates out. Very congested, lots of lines, lots of streets going this way and that, but they're all straight, just lots of angles, but no curves, there's no curved roads at all. Yeah, there's all straight lines and angles.
Okay.
Large buildings, you could only tell the large buildings from what you saw through the very large peephole.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna stand there and study the map for a while and see if there's. I mean, have they like circled things, or is there any indication that they've got like something going on, or is it just a map?
Well, yeah, they do have stuff going on. The map that covers the walls is not really the working map. I mean, it is in a way, but the actual activities is there's piles of maps that are on the table as well.
Okay.
And you can see that they have actually got some that they are working with there. And there are names of streets and stuff, but they're not names that you recognize.
Right.
And yeah, you can make sense. Yes, there's definitely stuff going on. You don't understand or can make
Any of
heads or
it.
tails of it, but yes.
Okay. Is there anybody else in this room, or is it just us three in this house so far?
In this room, there's just the three of you. They're not hovering behind you now. They've kind of come around the table. Yeah. And they're just there watching you. He'll answer like small questions, and he'll point out some things. Like if you ask something, like he'll mention a couple of specifics. Like he'll say, "Oh, that's the Bergen. There's an insane asylum on top of that one. Doorways to madness and inferno. You don't want to go there."
Inferno, like hell.
Yeah, like the book Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he probably actually. That's probably actually true stuff.
Why do people go to Inferno? Okay. All
Well,
right.
There's lots of different reasons. None of the Judeo-Christian mythology version. That's a mythological version of hell, if you want to call it hell. But the actual place is in Inferno, and it's a place, and there's fiery parts, but it's not a lake of fire, so to speak, or like that sort of, red guys with pitchforks.
Nice. No horns? Are there horns? Horns involved?
You probably find some horns.
And Joel just like skips around to a different part of the map. She's kind of having fun with this learning curve, but she's also like still kind of thinking she's dreaming a little bit, like swallowed by a house. And now I'm looking at shit.
When you mention the horns, the cinnamon reaches up into her hood and kind of rubs her head a little bit. You don't see anything protruding, but in her shy way, she...
Joel just kind of doesn't say anything or call her out or anything. She just kind of half smiles to herself and looks back down at the map. Because Joel loves information, absolutely adores it. And this is kind of fun for her because she never thought she'd make it here. So, or at least if she did, she was probably going to have to murder about 10 people. So this is a lot easier than that. She's a little giddy about it. A little giddy. Things are a little easier than she thought they'd be. Is there any other cool little details here? She says as she like skitters around the table to like look at more maps.
It's like there is so much cool stuff for you, Joel. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, the whole table is just full of it. I mean, it looks like stuff that you might get yourself lost in.
Oh yeah, for sure would do that.
You do notice there is one of the maps. One of the cool things about working with hand-drawn maps, especially if the particular map maker, what do they call those? There's an actual name for the people who do that.
I was gonna say, what is it? Chat, what is it?
Tim will say in a matter of moments. Sometimes if you have a rather talented and artistic one, you might get some illustrations, some embellishments,
Cartographer.
A cartographer, exactly.
Cartographer.
Gosh, see,
There it is.
My brain is withering away.
That's a hard word. I would never remember that. Let's be honest.
I knew cartographer. God damn it.
I was going to say cryptographer, but I think that's something else.
That's completely different.
Okay,
I used to date a cryptographer. Yes, you notice that one of the maps has a section of Metropolis sort of notated. There's a word there that you can't really read or understand. In fact, some of the letters don't even look like letters. But you do recognize the images that are drawn around it. And it is a group of about 5 faces, and they are all variations of the painted faces, including the 2 painted faces and 3 more that you remember from your parents getting killed, as if it's like that's where their spot is on the map. You know what I mean? Like those guys map, it's like, here's where they live. This is that's them. This is their spot,
perfect.
Sort of. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm just staring at that one now. I like completely and totally forget everything else and just skitter over to it and just like point down at it and then literally pick it up and look back at Temple. Mummy man. And just like hold it up. What is this? What is this?
No. That's the House of the Crazies.
What is that?
Well, that's where the crazies are.
No shit, Sherlock. I'm not an idiot. What does that mean?
Wait. Because you're asking idiot questions.
You need to understand higher context.
That is the spot on the map in which you might find their location.
I hate you. I hate you so much. No, Temple. What?
I know those are the guys that you're wanting to get to.
Yes.
Well, that's where they are. It's just as simple as that.
Right.
What does it mean? It means nothing.
What is a house of a crazy? I mean, what makes just because they're fucking psychotic? Is that what you're trying to tell me? It's that easy?
No, well, that's just their name. I don't know. Their gang name. It's like you have. Okay, well, all right. So it's like you've got Baptists and Methodists and Buddhists and Jews and crazies.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Mandates, and there are more that you don't realize. And
you're telling me they like pointed in a dictionary and they're like, "Yep, sure, cool name."
Well, no, it's actually spelled with a K, and I think they use 2 E's.
What does your guys' name mean? Why'd you pick? What is it again? I already forgot.
The Mandate.
Mandate, yeah. Why'd you pick that?
Because that's what we do. That's what we are. We're the Mandate.
So you're like the rules, like the be all rules.
Somebody else is the rules.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Joel just like folds up the map and sticks it in her pocket. I'm taking this, and then turns and walks out the room, but not back towards the foyer. I want to explore the rest of the house, see what else is here. So, pool room. If he wants to argue about me taking the map, just flip him off over the shoulder.
He does, but he realizes it's futile pretty quick. And he says, "You see, this is where our paths were going to cross. You are going to need to get to that map because that's you're not going to find them looking on your streets. You're going to have to look on other streets.
Yeah, you just led me to it. That's really great. Is there anything in the pool room that's interesting, or is it just a pool room? Because if it's not and I don't see something immediately, I'm just going right through.
It's just a pool room.
Okay, cool. Is there anything down this hallway?
No.
There's some offices.
Yes. Dark
Joel
panel.
has no personal boundaries. He's just gonna walk the whole house just to be happy.
Yeah, it's got in that hallway is like 1980s wood paneling, dark, with a couple hollow core cheap doors that actually do go to offices, but they're cheap doors. They're obviously nothing important because anybody with they're not secure. I'll just put it that way.
Right. Joel just opens one, looks inside, closes door, goes to the next. Opens door, looks inside, closes, continues walking.
Yes. In the big room that looks like a warehouse or garage or whatever, it is an armory.
Oh, mommy likey.
That great big door that's like open to, that's not open though.
No, it's closed. Closed door. Okay. What's all in the armory? I like armories.
Watch this. We'll
He's clicky. He clicky clacky.
There now.
Ow. I've been blocked. There's no escape. Oh, and it has to. Wow. That's a big hole.
I closed the door.
Just standing there watching a massive door just drops into existence. Okay, what's in the armory? Is there lots of fun things?
There is not quite literally, quite figuratively. There is literally a lot of different things. Guns, all shapes and sizes. There are bows and arrows and crossbows. There are even some that look rather old, like wooden crossbows. And there are also shields and swords and halberds and battle axes.
Oh, dope. And Joel is just walking around she's in a shopping mall. Imagine a 16-year-old walking into a Starbucks for the first time. This is Joel's Starbucks.
It's not organized as such, and they're not neat, pristine. They have been collected through time, and some are quite worn, but they're all okay, go throw that on the battle axe pile. So they're lean and stacked and in piles, and it's just an accumulation over what appears to be a long period of time.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's still cool. Jill doesn't care. It's pointy, it's sharp, or it kills something, and she's happy.
Yes, especially as a 17-year-old interested in that. Yeah, whatever you would want to find in here. And, if you look, you'll find armor as well. If you look deep and hard enough. I guess my question would be, how much time do you want to get lost in the stacks?
I mean, if I'm standing in an armory, my first thought is, I'm going to go out into this metropolis and I'm going to be exploring. I'm not assuming I have my normal backpack on me. My backpack that has all of my essential items in it that Joel normally carries.
Did you take it with you down to the mouth house?
No, I just grabbed my gun, tucked it in the back of my jeans, and left.
Then, yeah, no.
So my first thought is, okay, I need backpack. I need first aid kit. I need, just bare minimum essentials, extra ammo for my gun, if I can find it in this mess. And, if there's lockpicks or anything laying around, just an extra bits of clothes, if there's some shirts or something. Just those like bare necessity minimums you need for like surviving in case you get A, hurt, B, in a fight, C, have blood on you, or need to stop bleeding on somebody else. Is there that kind of stuff like all up in here? Can I grab those things?
I wonder what those are. Some of these little details. I don't even know what. Like, trying to figure out. I wonder what those things are. Like, I was looking at one map. I was trying to figure out what something is down in the basement of a church or something. I realized, oh, it's like because you could use it's like where you would wash a dead body. It was like a mortician's table.
Oh, fun!
I know. It's like, what is that? Because the room over next to it had like table chairs and a piano. Mm-hmm. It was rather interesting. Anyhow, yes, one of the non-weapon items,
Right.
Shields and body armor and that kind of stuff. Now, the old weaponry is a lot of it's hanging on the walls as well. The more modern the weapon, the more easily it is to get to and access, right? So
Okay.
like you kind of have to like climb back through some crates of rifles to get to the swords that are at ground level as opposed to the ones that they've got hanging on the sword rack. You know what I mean? Because we're several years since they put those up there and they've put some other stuff in front of it. So that's how it's set up. In the other rooms, you will find like there is one room that's got first aid supplies and medical supplies and different things they've accumulated. There's nothing ancient or fantastical, just all pretty modern stuff, but bulky, nothing fancy and all in sort of bulk. And there's also a room that has clothes in it, but they're all black uniforms.
Oh.
Like fatigue, sort of generic, like security cop kind of type stuff is what I would imagine it to be. Nothing too crazy.
So Joel takes a good probably 15-ish minutes to run around just to gather a backpack, first aid kit, extra ammo for her dad's handgun that she carries at all times. Probably finds a pretty good sized knife to strap onto her belt since her knife is probably at home, seeing as how she was interrupted in her morning routine by a small child who then got her eaten. And is there like black t-shirts or like black long sleeve, like just to toss it over, just grabs like one t-shirt and one of those and like maybe finds like something a little fun, like if there's a grenade, like maybe tosses a grenade in the backpack just for shits and giggles. But she doesn't really talk while she's doing it because she's like trained to go grab this and pack very quickly. So that's pretty much what she's doing. It's like mission face. Like if they're babbling at her, she probably doesn't hear it because she's going through a whole checklist in her head, making sure that she's got the bare minimum. And then if there is a kitchen, she's probably going to go get some snacks out of there, just some bare snacks.
Once it becomes obvious what you're doing, and definitely by the time you get to the collection of snacks, Cinnamon has jumped in and is helping you gather supplies.
Dope. I love a helping hand. And you can tell Joel really does appreciate it. Like she kind of smiles when like Cinnamon runs and grabs something and like drops it in the bag and is like kind of excited. Joel just kind of like nods and smiles and keeps moving.
But she's very childlike in the sense that she's kind of, you can sense this attachment. You know what I mean? Like she's like, feels like a little kid who's like suddenly picked up on what you're doing, and because she likes you, she's going to jump in and start helping you. But she's not like talking or anything like that. If you talk to her, she doesn't respond. You can see some response in her face, but she doesn't speak.
Yeah, I just get beep bop through the house.
And at some point, he will say, "You're not going to make it alone. It could take you your whole lifetime to find the place, and it might be across the street."
Well, you said you had to fight someplace. I'm not saying I'm going to necessarily help, but I'll go check it out.
Oh,
But you have to be prepared.
right. Yes. Well, we're not actually going anywhere to fight today, but we're about to.
What is this about to? Why are we not doing it now? Why is there this waiting thing?
Why is this Roll20 keep playing and it tells me nothing is playing? I hear the drone, but it says nothing currently playing.
I don't know.
And I keep scrolling the map and probably driving the people at home crazy because I'm not used to having a map on the screen.
Joel's just like boop 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 beep bopping through the house.
Play on the map for a second. I have to.
Okay, I'm playing on the map. I'm coming back. Because at this point in my head, I've made it back to like the front door and I've got like my hand on it and I've got a full bag back. And now Temple has decided to be like, where are you going?
Actually, no, he's going to wait. And are you going to walk out the front door?
No, I was probably going to wait to see if anybody was going to stop me. I mean, it's like a threat of it, like hand is on the doorknob, head like barely turned.
Yeah, no, because this is like one of those perfect scenes, right? It's like the you'll get it. It's almost a cliche.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you go so far as to like, all right, I'm opening the door. I'm gonna step outside because they're not really stopping you. They're kind of just like watching you, curious, as like, oh, let's see what she does next. And when you open the door, I'm going to describe this. You don't get to see all of this. You can kind of see it from your vantage point, but when you're low on the ground and because of buildings and stuff, you don't get to see all of it. But if you were, say, 12 feet tall, you could probably get a better image of what I'm about to describe to you. But it feels kind of like Manhattan in a sense, except that it's obviously not. And this world that you've stepped in outside this door is my notes say outside in. So the landscape doesn't slope down, the landscape slopes up. So as you look out, you can see the city go up, but the distance then becomes so overwhelming that it eventually just fades into gray. It seems like it's overcast, but you don't see it's not clouds. It's just sort of a gray light coming from a center point. But you can look directly at it, and it doesn't hurt your eyes. It's not the sun.
Cool.
And it's that way in all directions. If you were like zoomed out as far as like our little background map, it would be an awesome sight of this ring pattern inside out. As if the surface of, Coruscant, Star Wars? Mm-hmm. So it's an entire planet that's like a city. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if that was like inside out, right? So like you got the whole city, right? The whole city planet.
Right.
Except it's inside the ball instead on the outside of the ball.
Outside the ball. Okay.
But it's so big, you can't see the other side of it. You know what I mean? It's just sky to you. But yes, if you were to like fly directly across in a straight line, you wouldn't go anywhere out. You would get to the other side.
Right. Just kind of, is it like a porch? Is there like a porch area?
It is, it's stone steps. The building behind you looks more like a stone temple of sorts. Streets are gray because you actually are in a metropolis area, right? A metropolitan area. This map sort of looks rural. It is an open space. It's not stacked together, but right out here is a street as opposed to bushes. I didn't have time to do all of that sort of detail work on this particular map.
That's fine. It's fine.
I just wanted the buildings and to give it that sort of compound feel. It is. It's kind of like a allotted area, like where you'd have a garage and such. Like it might have been, perhaps at one point in time, a place where they worked on cars or did warehousing or deliveries or who knows what function it served. But the buildings of Metropolis are similar as I've described them in other game sessions. Very overly large. The doorways and windows are all large, but there's no glass or doors. The doorways are all open. You do sense other people, living things. You can occasionally look down and maybe see somebody scurry off, but it's not like heavy New York sort of foot traffic,
Mm-hmm. Joel just kind of looks like not like necessarily deer in the headlight, like surprise look on the face. It's more of like a wide-eyed and amazed almost, but also slightly terrified at the same time. She just kind of sits there for a minute and kind of keeps following the line of the street up until she can't really see it anymore, and just kind of keeps like cocking her head to the side and trying to figure out the physics of it. And you can see the little cartoon in her head almost playing of like, okay, so if you walk up the street, does gravity still keep you up there, or do you like fall straight down? Like, how does that work? Like, just all of those little mundane little questions you have about how does that thing work? You
feel Blue. His presence is rather large. They've all been following you, but when he gets close to your orbit, it's a little hard to not sense it. And you see his big meaty arm sort of come over your shoulder, and he, like, kind of like your dad might have when you were little, and he would like be trying to point at something and show you, but he's trying to point for your eyes. You know what I mean? I always loved when Dad did that. Like, no, look right where I'm pointing.
Just this dude is 3 times bigger than my dad.
Yeah. So, you see what he's trying to do, but what he's pointing at, if you follow the direction, you will eventually see what he's pointing at. And down the street, from where you're at, way off down there, you see, up the street, right? Sort of this, at this point, it looks like black dots, blurry, moving down the street, but there's like a group of them. And he sort of just like gives you a pat on the, like right here on the front of the shoulder, as he's like, not like a hug, but just like, so just like a come on sort of thing. And it's as gentle as he can be gentle, but
still kind of like a
the weight of it, is pretty heavy. But it's like all right, come on, sort of a sense that you get with that. And then you hear him tell Temple as he's walking then back towards and into the house, the compound. He says, "They're coming."
Who's coming? That's very ominous.
And Temple says, it looks like you're going to get your fight after all.
Oh.
Sometimes they come to us.
Oh, cool. I guess. Do you have more people than this?
That's about the time you hear the alarms start to sound.
Joel's just like, the fuck?
It's like this really sort of weak, almost hand-cranked siren, like you might have heard on an episode of MASH when the
Yeah.
but it's barely loud enough. Although it echoes off of all of the buildings and stuff, so it sounds a lot louder than it actually is. But it's actually a rather weak, old sort of. There's not electricity here, from what you can tell, on this thing, except inside. When you go inside, everything seems normal again. And then you notice a whole bunch of guys coming from the direction of the armory and such back to that front door where you're at. And, like everybody starts filing through there.
Oh, shit.
That is the doorway out to Metropolis.
Step aside. Gonna watch what's going on. Because obviously Joel's got no fucking idea. Obviously these people know what that means, and she's still trying to even figure out how this all works or what is working. But there's definitely an instinctive hand that's kind of itching to grab the gun behind her, tucked in the back of her jeans. Just because that's how Joel is wired. Someone says fight, and she immediately kind of goes to draw a weapon, but she also isn't quite sure who to trust.
Right.
So it's just kind of just waiting to see what happens. Is there anybody with specific weaponry of any kind, or?
What do you mean?
Like, do some people have swords and other people have guns? Is there like,
yeah, when the people start coming out, there's like people that are climbing up onto the roof. There's a hatch in the foyer that they open up that you realize is on the ceiling, and some of them start filing up to the top above. Mm-hmm. And there are a few that kind of go out like towards them into some forward position. You don't see where they go, but they went with like staffs, like sticks, like long quarterstaff type things. Yeah, but they didn't have. Yeah, they weren't pointed, but yes, like martial combat weapon.
Oh, like a bow staff.
Yeah, bow staff. Yeah, like that. A bow staff, exactly. It's exactly what they are. And
okay, weird.
Yeah, so I'm just going to describe how this situation unfolds at the point where Joel thinks that she needs to like do something.
Because I'm just kind of chilling on the just kind of waiting to see what type of fight this kind of is.
Right. It looks like it's going to be both far and close. There are people moving in. There are people with close hand-to-hand combat weapons, and then there are people who are posting up on top of the place with rifles, automatic weapons, and there's no vehicles. Even though there's a car on the map.
Ignore that car. Yeah, ignore the little car hanging out.
That's in the not Metropolis version of this location. You have to go out a different door to get there.
Gotta go find a car.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
And then drive it through the house to this door. So the mass of things that are coming get closer, and you realize they are all man-sized, two-legged. They are also dressed in blacks, but not a uniform color, and they are not clothes that you would recognize. They're wraps, and as if it was like one strip of cloth, maybe 10 inches wide, that they legs and the whole body, but not tied or anything. But you realize that there are that sort of layering to it. I've got some pictures. I just didn't have a chance to get them in the thing.
That's okay.
Oh, I forgot to show you the other picture, though.
Oh, there's more?
I had Temple. I forgot to share it with you.
Oh, I want to see Mummy Man. Mummy Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Mummy Man. Oh, I don't like his hands. He's supposed to be nice, but what you got with those hands, son?
He's very smart.
Okay. Has he like made any indication of what I should do?
Oh, you don't see him anymore.
Oh, he like just straight up was like
everybody's gone to work. Yeah, everybody's
Oh.
like started moving. It's become a hustle bustle. They're all getting ready for an attack.
Oh.
Sorry if I wasn't clear about that when I said.
No, I probably lost a detail in there somewhere. It's okay.
No, I didn't say that he took off, but yes, things start happening when Blue hit you on the shoulder and was like, and they're coming. That set off just a whole flurry of stuff, and then people, it's just seconds, and then more people are there rushing out, getting into position. Everybody's obviously going to their directed spots, and so they're all just kind of waiting. You know what I mean? It's like the rebel base.
Okay, is there a good vantage point for me to not be in the like line of fire or in the, I guess, the designated areas, but a spot where I could watch this and not get shot? I mean, is the porch a good spot?
Oh, you want to observe the battle from atop a hill?
I want to observe
From
it
far
for
away?
a second before I make a decision on what I want to do here.
You're going to be observing it up front and close pretty soon because you need to tell me where you want to go to do that. But you can see the bad guys coming, and when they are probably 200 yards, 2 football fields away, that mass, and from what you can gather from, even if you like went out into the street, right, and like stood in the middle of the street and looked at the group of them coming your way, you would guess there's probably 100 of them.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, you've not seen that many of your people, and at some point that mass just sort of explodes out, and they all just sort of disappear into the landscape, into the buildings. They just like guard. They've all gone to do their thing, and you won't know where they're coming from. They're not coming in mass down the street.
Shit, I need to find a spot to get some cover. Do I have any options like that are obvious? Is there like normally in a street fight like that, you're looking for like a car or the side of a building that you can still see, but
you're in what I would describe as sort of a commercial urban area. So the buildings are 1 and 2 story buildings, but the map sort of takes you out of it. They're all over the place. I mean, there's one right next door, and there's another one over. So there's lots of places you can go, and they all seem to have sort of that. Well, for me, I lived in Santa Fe for a while, and everything looks like a pueblo, right? So, because in Santa Fe they have, it's actually a city code. Everything has to have stucco. So all of the buildings actually look like pueblos in a way. But they're all sort of low. But it looks like, you could go anywhere. You could get on roofs. You can go into buildings. All the doors are just doorways. There are no actual doors to open, except for the one that you just came out of. But even when you look down at your own building, those doors are open.
Fuck. Okay. Joel is thinking through
twisted.
like 10,000 different scenarios. Her best case scenario is she like runs, dead ass tries to sprint to the armory to get a rifle to then get to a window that has, because that obviously offers more coverage than being on the roof and or outside. So she like is going to stick to this, probably go back to the room she woke up in and like lay on the bed and kind of be out the window. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that room, the map kind of doesn't really do it justice, but that landing is actually kind of like one of those, to me, I'm from Heartland, so it's like one of those city stoops. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it seems short, but it's actually like 5 feet up. You know what I mean? Like there might be another whole developed something underneath the building that you're in. So you actually have a little bit of a height advantage over street level per se.
Good. That's exactly what Joel wants to do. That's her safe bet. Arm yourself, get good cover, try and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. It's not the best for the shot. I mean, your actual your range, your firing range is it's kind of narrow. But yeah, you're a pretty good shot. If somebody gets in it, you're probably going to do rather well. You can see other people in similar situations from other windows. Everybody's in just kind of like this quiet.
Wait.
Everybody's listening and waiting, and you can hear every once in a while a little bit of maybe a scuffle or a sound, and you look around, you could see somebody in that window over there, and you see somebody in that window over there, and then that person in that window over there obviously gets engaged from behind, and you see a quick snap, and then the person on your side, since the other mandate, we'll just call them mandates.
Yeah.
He's attacked physically by whatever these other people are, and is just torn to bits. You just see pieces of him fly out of this open window, wet and red and sloppy. It's just like as if he is being just torn like wet cotton. Yeah, I mean, just it's not good. Yeah, blood all up, a red spray mist of stuff. You might have heard half of a muffled scream. And then there's silence.
Is the crinkled up like water bottle still in the bedroom, or did someone throw that away for me?
Oh no, it's right there, laying on the bed. It's like got just that little swallow that didn't make it in left.
Is there any other furniture in the room, like a little end table or a night table or something?
I'll give you a nightstand, a little four-legged flat nightstand with a drawer.
Okay, cool. So I want to put the water bottle in the one doorway, like behind me, and then I want to put the nightstand like to block the other doorway, to kind of give myself an indication if something's gonna sneak up my ass in, because that's the next thought after you see someone get taken like that.
Well, now inside the place you have doors. So you can actually, you can close those two doors.
Then I'm closing the goddamn doors.
Inside, everything seems like normal. It seems like a regular building.
Oh, okay.
While dated.
It's still a building.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so that you're in full understanding. This particular door outside the building, if you go from inside the building, outside the building, through that door, is into Metropolis. Okay. If you are inside that building and go out another door, you're going to go to someplace different.
Oh, okay.
One of them will be Manhattan.
Okay.
That
I don't want to leave yet. I don't want to leave yet.
I'm just so that you so you get an idea of why everything's kind of twisty.
Okay. I get it. I just want to continue. I have rifle to defend, and I sit at window and continue to wait to see if some like actual big fight happens, or what I'm really supposed to be doing, or if there's any opportunity for me to even do anything.
You get from your window, you can see the street. There's no bush. We'll say that's the indicator of the sidewalk or something.
Okay.
The edge of the street. having a bush is not important.
It's a bush.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's like a street that runs out there. And so you can get a pretty good scene of that. There's not a whole lot of activity from the doorways. There's like, you can see 2 or 3 front doors of buildings, across from you. I'm just kind of giving you a general about of the things that you can cover with your rifle. So you can get somebody coming down the street from the left, or if they're coming from the right, you got a better view this way than you do that way. And after a moment or two, one of them is in your field of fire.
Okay.
So you have a target, and they are, I would describe them as like sand people, is sort of attire. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That sort of, yeah. Not the sand people face, but
but that kind of like cream robes wrapped up.
Yeah, darker in color, but the way those scraps of cloth and
like
stuff,
wrapped all the way up
layered,
arms and legs. Okay, I get you.
But very quick. You actually see a couple of them, but they dart. You know what I mean? But you get one that I'm going to let you take a shot at.
I want to. Can I do it?
Yes, you can. Let's do it. Engage in combat violence roll.
Oh, I don't even have my window open right. 21.
That does it.
Bang.
Yeah, I'm going to let you narrate. You can do this one up. I had my horror narration whenever I splattered the guy all over the place. You have a perfect shot, so I want Joel to describe the perfect shot, because it's like a yeah moment.
Okay. So Joel is laying on the bed, obviously on her belly, rifle up, exactly like a sniper would do. If anybody has seen any Hollywood depiction of a sniper. Yeah, I mean, it's a straddled lean on the ground, shoulder up, braced, and you audibly hear the deep breath she takes in and holds as the scope perfectly lines up on the sandman, quote unquote. And there's a slight little smirk of like a gotcha as she slowly squeezes the trigger and watches the dude get hit right in the head. But obviously it happens a little bit different. So you see like the body fall, and then you see the little poof of blood.
Nice. Yes.
As the person just falls just flat on their ass. And like Joel kind of sits back and exhales.
Here's your cost, because I still have a hold.
Damn it.
And I'm going to make you roll something.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be it's kind of a defensive. This is a house rule. I'm making something up.
House rule.
I want you to. It's a see through the illusion roll.
Okay.
So we're gonna roll soul, and oh yeah, you're gonna perceive things as they truly are. See, this is why I might consider this actually a failed roll as opposed to a successful roll.
Why?
You don't want to see this. You will not be harmed. But you will know now their second weapon, I suppose. Because as this creature dies, and it's pretty much like a person, you can't really see their face. It just looks dirty from your distance, right? It's like I don't want to equate dirty and dark-skinned because they're mottled and there's damage done to them and stuff. you got to be careful when you say some things. Somebody take something the wrong way.
Don't do that.
I know. It's like, okay, that could sound bad, but yeah, you can't really make out any specific features or like race or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when the person dies, you hear them, you can feel them, and you are being basically attacked by their soul. Their life force is now attacking you and attempting to take your body.
Oh, oh God. What do?
I'm gonna let you, since you rolled the 16, I'm gonna let you see that as it truly is. But since it is a successful roll, then it won't get in, and so you struggle with it, sort of mentally. You have this what the fuck moment, and you're like, oh hell no, or however it is that you fight them off, Joel, and then it just sort of they go away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just like Joel's over, like what the fuck, and then just like
It's like, yeah, it's this particular thing's last ditch mode of defense, right? If you kill it, it's going to try to take your body so that it can keep going.
Ew.
And yeah, it didn't get you, so it fizzles off. It's gone. Never to return.
That's stressful shit.
And you can hear screeches and screams and men and women fighting. Pretty soon, gunfire, a couple of explosions, perhaps grenades, maybe.
Love grenades.
Who knows?
I love a good grenade.
But it is turning into a considerable battle. That's all I got. So thanks, Erica. Thanks to you out there and our patrons who, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do any of this at all. Like Adam, the Vampire Interpreter Lake, Chaotic Story, T-67, Kamui, 3. That's how I like to say it. And Taya or Ilera. And yeah, you guys did it. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go before I start acting really weird. So,
good night, sweet dreams. We love you.
Good night, sweet dreams. We love you. Where is it? Going dark. But
and as we like to say, good night, sweet dreams.
Oh my gosh, look at us.
We love you.
Good night, sweet dreams. We love you.
Goodbye, internet. This isn't actually goodbye. I will scroll on you until I fall asleep later. Bye.
Holy fuck, you guys.